So I've noticed that a lot of the brothers have been going in on the IBMOR lately here on the YouTube manosphere. And the reason being because IBMOR, for the most part, many of the founders of IBMOR and a lot of the brothers who subscribe to IBMOR, basically they want us black men to turn our overall situation around, get our shit together, and if possible try to build something with the black woman. And now I'm not going to go in on IBMOR because I actually support the brothers. I agree with, I think, pretty much 90% of what they're talking about. That's a high enough percentage. I don't consider myself IBMOR. Nothing against them. They're just, more black nationalistic, and I'm not. But I'm not against that if that's what they feel is, a good solution for black men, and they want to, it sound like, carve out a nation within the United States. That sounds like a great idea. I support them in that endeavor. Me personally, I really don't want to be a part of that, but that probably would be good for them and whatnot. But I do support IBMOR a whole lot because, if you are a black man who's heterosexual, you should listen to a lot of these a lot of the IBMOR brothers and just listen to their ideas and suggestions as to what you should do to better yourself, better your life as a black man. I'm all for that. That's why I support them. But there's just one thing I don't support that, for the most part, on many of the IBMOR channels and a lot of the brothers that consider themselves IBMOR, they pretty much saying they want the black man to build. This is the suggestion, but they're suggesting that us black men, we should build a nation or build our community up with other black women. And that's pretty much my main disagreement with IBMOR. Again, I'm going to keep saying it because I don't want any of the IBMOR brothers to think I'm against them. I'm not. But like I said, in my previous video, one of my previous video, why I don't get along with black people, you should check that out. And also, I've also discussed and brought up, some of my grievances that I've had with black women, and I don't get along with them for the most part. So, yes, I'm a black man, growing up, born and raised here in America. I've gone through a lot of the same experiences as any other black man here in America, no matter what our backgrounds is. It's just that I know I can't build nothing with a black woman. I've tried that numerous times. I've already dumpster dived into the hay looking for a needle in a haystack, and life is too short to do that. I've observed black women. I've seen how they are. And also I've observed some sisters from other countries, and they're not much better. To me, they're not any better. They're just a different black woman with a different circumstance of bullshit. So I don't have time for that. I prefer non-black women, whether she's white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Indian, Middle Eastern, Far Eastern, Arabian, anything but black. Anything but black American, Caribbean, and even African. I don't have to have a black woman in my life. I really don't. But all other women are definitely welcome. I'm done with black women. Now, I can build something up with these other women because they're more compliant, they cooperate, they're more amiable, friendlier, happier, and I've gotten better vibes from these women than I've ever gotten from black women. Black women just don't feel me. I'm not going to sit around and just keep on crashing into the brick wall going 90 miles an hour because I think that I just have to have a sister. I don't have to have a sister. I don't have to have a big booty black woman. I don't have to have a black woman that's thick with a hourglass shape. I don't have to have that. I could pursue big booty women in other races. There's plenty of white, Hispanic, not so much Asian. There's plenty of Middle Eastern women who have voluptuous shapes, hourglass shapes. Black women do not hold a monopoly on having a big ass and nice size hips. They're not the only ones that have it, even though black women think they are. They don't own that. Okay? And a woman don't have to be thick. A woman can be slender or slim or thin or even skinny. As long as she's not anorexic, that those types, those body shapes can be sexy too. But most black men will just reject a woman just because she's not thick. And that's just atrocious, if you ask me. But I'm not talking about the body type right here. I'm mainly talking about the race and ethnicity of the woman. And, you know, I support IBMOR. I'm not going to criticize them. I think they truly believe, you know, and they have stated time and time again in their videos that the woman needs to be submissive. She needs to be compliant. You know, the man needs to lead. The woman has to let the man lead in the relationship. She's not going to be running nothing. The man is. That's why he's the man. I get that. I understand that. And I totally agree with that. The man should lead. The man should run the business within the relationship, within the household. You know, it should be a patriarchy. That's why I support IBMOR for that, because I agree with that. My whole thing is, what black woman you're going to find that's going to be supportive of that? And then a lot of IBMOR brothers are going to say, well, I'm going to travel to Africa. I'm going to get me a sister from Africa. I'm going to go to the Caribbean islands. Okay. You know, no one ever talks about this, and I'm gonna bring it up right here, right now. Yes, those African black women from Africa, they are submissive, they are compliant. Yes, you do see some Caribbean black women in the Caribbean, from the Caribbean. They are, you know, kind of submissive somewhat. They are more compliant toward their men. They do let the man run things. Have you ever noticed what men those are? that they do that with. It's their own countrymen. It's men from their own country. You might see a lot of Jamaican women. Well, not really, but let's say you see some Jamaican women that are cooperative to their men. Well, usually they're cooperative toward other Jamaican men. Same with African women. Yes, those African women treat those African men like kings. They bow down to those men. The African man runs the relationship, is the head of the household. What makes you think those women are gonna do the same for you just because you're black? You know? You guys fail to realize. I am saying this to IBMOR and any other black man who thinks this. You guys fail to realize that African women do not like us black American men. They don't even consider us. They don't see us. African black women, black African women, they tend to just stick with their own kind, their own African man from their own country, whichever country they're from, or they go for an African black man from another country, maybe the country next over from their country, but he's still an African man. And then if they don't go for that, they go for a British white man, or an Italian white man, or a Polish white man, or a French white man. Basically a European white man. They don't even go for white men in America too much. But they don't go. I very seldom ever hear about black African women going for black American men. You know what I mean? There are some countries, there are some exceptions, of course, but you know, I hear people talk about Ethiopia, Somalia. They do not go for you. Those women, now they're more loyal than the West African women. They stick to their own race, their own kind, their own culture. They do not even mess with West African men. So that's the whole point. So going to Africa, good luck with that. I'm not interested. Caribbean, a lot of those are just basically whores. They run a lot of game, and they think they got a lot of game, and you just might fall for it because you think they're better than the American black woman, the North American black woman. And no, that's just some other bullshit you gonna have to deal with. You know, why you have to have a black woman? I don't know. That's your business, but don't force that on us. You know, you know, IBMOR, to the IBMOR brothers, I love and support you. You know, I understand where you're coming from. I get what you're trying to do, but you would have a lot more black men out there, you know, repping IBMOR, who would consider themselves IBMOR if you just you're not worrying about what woman the black man is dating. I get the men have to be heterosexual, you know. I get that. I agree with that 150%. But now you're telling us what woman we should be with? I disagree with that. But I still support you. Much love. This is Neck of the Woods. I'm out.